So first I want to ask if anybody who's not from the media has any questions. I don't know if anybody does. We got to get to door knocking, but I certainly, if there are people that have questions or want to say things or whatever, I'm open to that. You're all silent. You're cold. Let's get out of here. Some of you need hats. Tom, you need a hat.
I was wondering if you have any ideas for the Port Authority.
We certainly need to start working on public transportation in the city. That's one of the things that will make people choose to live here. How are we going to make sure that this is a system that will serve more people? But again, if we had 100,000, maybe 200,000 more people living in this city, that system is a viable system again, right? That's what we need. More people here to help. And so it's sort of chicken and the egg, but we are going to make sure that that happens. Okay, I'm going to take questions from the press then, and then we'll get out to door knocking. Any questions?
Councilman, can you tell us how much, other than the $73.46, how much have you been able to raise in this short time?
I don't actually know the answer to that, but we have been raising, we're over, well, I won't say anything. We've been raising a lot of money. We're making it. We're climbing this hill. It's going to be a long, so here's the thing. Nobody's going to contribute immediately to this campaign. Everybody's going to say, look, this guy doesn't have a chance at winning. That's what people say. I'm sure of it. But here's the fact. Look at the people behind me. We've already been out door knocking. I will continue to go out door knocking. And what we're going to do is we're going to build this the campaign with energy from the ground. This campaign starts on the ground. You don't start a campaign with money. You start it with energy. You start it with shoes. That's how I always have started a campaign, and that's how they should always be started. You start with energy and people. You go out and you talk to them. And then people start to say, wait a minute, there's something there. We're going to invest. And that's what we're going to do in this campaign, and that's already starting.
Councilman, are you afraid to criticize Luke Ravenstahl? And
Absolutely not.
And if you're not, what is your #1 criticism of the incumbent?
I'll start with the idea that we need a mayor who is going to engage. I said before that we need vision and leadership, and I think part of that involves engagement. And I think that we have already, in the year that I've served on council, we've seen a number of important debates in this city. And I would ask, where has the mayor been? When we debated campaign finance reforms, where was the mayor? When we debated gun control, where was the mayor? When mayors across the country and across the Commonwealth were putting together and advocating for a stimulus package, where was our mayor? Where was our mayor when the murder rate increased by 28%? So I'll start with that.
It wasn't so long ago, some months ago, when you were praising Mayor Ravenstahl's leadership and his vision. What has changed about him, or where is he following?
Mayor Ravenstahl is committed to reducing the legacy costs of the city, and that any mayor that in this, right now or in the future will have to do. And I commend him for that commitment. I am, however, completely dissatisfied with what's going on at this point. You know well and good. There is, and I'm going to get into this. If anybody wants to go to sleep, here's a good time. I have been a tireless, dogged pursuer of this $45.3 million. As it is now, that money sits in a basic debt reserve fund in the city government. One person transferred it one day into that account, and it sits there. That money is designed to reduce long-term debt in this city in the years 2011, 2012, and 2013, when we know we have a serious debt service crisis coming. That money is not pledged to commit, it's supposed to go to that. The mayor has not committed it there. The ICA has not committed it there. It needs to be committed there. I have asked for the numbers on the pension contribution. The mayor and I signed, along with all of my colleagues on council, and the controller was present, although he did not sign for reasons that were designed in advance, but he was supportive of. We agreed that we would invest 15 additional percentage, so let me start over again. We agreed that we would pay our minimum municipal obligation for pension, and that in so doing we would pay an additional 15%. I have yet to see the numbers that show that we have in fact, or will in fact, make that contribution. So again, where is the mayor on this particular question? Show me the numbers. Show me that that money has gone to reduce those legacy costs.
Councilman, you were on school board when difficult choices were made about closing schools, the changes of superintendents. Do you feel that anything in your school board record could be a liability or could hurt you in this case?
No, in fact, I would argue exactly the opposite. And just by the way, let's ask again, where was the mayor on that? The mayor will take credit for the Pittsburgh Promise. I think he deserves it. I was a part of the board before that thing got announced. I stepped off the board in November. I didn't take office until January on City Council. That thing was announced in December. So I can technically say I had, when it was announced, I wasn't a part of any government. But I'll tell you what, that was certainly a project that I helped contribute to. The mayor took his leadership. I'm very proud that he did that. Let me also, just for the record, point out, I have 5 kids. That's $200,000 to me. I love it. So, but as far as the difficult decisions, we did make some difficult decisions. Where was the mayor on that question when he was a councilman or later as mayor? I'll say this. When we worked on the Board of Education, we had, and I think that board to some extent still has, a vision. We must provide services to those who are here now. In the school system, that meant the students. In the city, that means the residents. We must provide service to people here and now. But we must also look out to the future and say, how are we going to provide those services and more in the future? And that, I think, is my record on the board. Closing schools was a difficult choice. Every one of them that I closed, I nearly cried about. Who wants to do that? Raise your hand. No one. Who wants taxes raised? No one. Okay, then you stand up and make the difficult choices. I did that. I'm proud to say that I did it. I hated the fact that we did it, and I'm driven to increase population so that nobody ever has to do that again.
What have you done? What have you done during